one.
Y'all, are you ready? That's what all I want to know is, are we ready today to get into Flenory v. Flenory, the case for justice, okay, for Mrs. Lucille Flenory. Now I'm gonna just kind of set the tone, the housekeeping for how today is gonna go. We are still doing our review of BMF season 3, episode 4, Prodigal Son. We will do that first. The trial will commence after that, and this is exactly how it's going to go. We will both present our opening arguments, okay? Jay being the defense will go first, or I'm sorry, Jay being the prosecution, he'll go first. The defense, myself, will go second. Then we'll both present our arguments. Jay, of course, will go first. I will go second, and then we'll present closing arguments. But however, okay, you, the people, will be making the final decision on Lucille's innocence. And I'm free Lucille all day because Black women don't cheat. Okay. Let me bring the guest to the stage. Yeah, and we are going to talk about things. How are you feeling today, Jay? Are you prepared to lose this battle?
First of all, hello to the people. Thank you for your patience. The defense had to get themselves together, so I want to ask the defense.
The devil was mad, y'all.
Please,
the devil was mad.
Please breathe. The defense, please breathe. Take a breath, like Marvin. And yes, we are here. Hello, family. Hello, everyone. Hello, defendant. What do I call you, Sweet Pea?
No, you call me by my name, Ashley. Okay. And I am
Ashley,
representing the defense, innocent Lucille Flenory. Free her. Black women don't cheat.
We shall see. We shall see. Family, I have the special suit on today. You know what that means. Shout out to the VACAY fam. Shout out to everybody. Let's give a happy birthday to Latoya. Happy birthday, ma'am. Happy birthday. Many, many more. Absolutely. And yes, I'm excited to be here with attorney Ashley. And yeah, we are going to get this popping. I'm ready for this today. She's prepared. I'm prepared. And we're going to have a great time today. All in fun, family. All in fun. All in fun.
Nobody, please don't get sensitive in the comments. I'm going to say some things. He's going to say some things.
You know I'm going to say some things.
Yeah, we
look good. But look, you look good. You look good, defense. You look good, you know?
Because I stand for my clients. You know what I'm saying? I stand for my clients. But what everyone's really been waiting for is for us to get into episode 4. And so we are not going to pull any punches. We are going to get right to it. I didn't come up with any clever games because I was preparing my case. And so are there any things that you want to talk about episode 4, Prodigal Son, that you just want to get off your chest? And happy birthday, Latoya. Happy birthday to you, good sis. And thank you for being my backup here.
Team Charles in the building. Yes. And this was a kind of wild episode, right? I mean, especially what we're about to get into, right? We're about to get into the prosecution of the guilty, Ms. Flenory. But other than that, it was a pretty wild episode from, the 2,500 bricks instead of 250 to Meech coming home to, Terry going through what he went through and how Markeisha came through. And it was a pretty wild one. It was a pretty wild one for me. Anything stand out for you?
It was absolutely. Lucille's innocence stood out for me. I was so proud of my good sis for not folding and crumbling like a chair.
Oh, she did.
But as far as the episode is concerned, I think Meech is the people's champ. He came home. He did what needed to be done. And I think, the goodwill that was done, even though they didn't make a huge bag on this deal, I believe it will bode well for them going forward. So yeah, my thoughts on the initial. So let's get right into these slides though. Let's get into it. What's happening here, Jay? What happened?
It's just a conversation. They're still concerned about what's going to happen to Terry Jr. They don't really know what's going on. He's trying to let her know that it's going to be okay, that he got the whole new place and everything. And, she's kind of like, okay, well, I guess I trust you, even though he's still kind of messing with, Markeisha, but
Kinda.
what can she really do? Yeah, I mean, still kind of like, again, they didn't get into it last episode because, the guilty, Lucille came through and kind of interrupted and was being a cock blocker as she usually is. But,
The
nothing really happened
slander,
with that. And no
libel,
slander, just truth, just
defamation of
facts.
character.
Again, we are going to get into facts, not feelings today, family. So let's make sure we stay clear. But what happened here is that, yeah, he's just letting her know, hey, it's going to be all right. We're going to work this thing out. We're going to work this thing out.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. If I was Lawanda in this moment, I'd be like, "Really, Terry? You got you a new house, but I'm still living in this squalor of my mother's home?"
That's
That
your
would have
favorite
pissed me
word.
off. But I mean, she busted down the
Yeah.
food. She was enjoying it. And yeah, he was just trying to alleviate her concerns and let her know, baby, everything's gonna be all right. But did you anticipate the result of that? So here, Big T is rolling them things because, as someone informed me of in the last video, shooting dice is Terry's thing. And so he's having an amazing time with who you thought was Sammy Davis, but I don't think that was proven
I was
to be
disappointed with that.
so. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, oh, oh,
I
okay.
really wanted him to be, but just cause of that face, because he looks like Sammy Davis, but it's okay.
Okay. So what did you think of this scene?
Um, Again, Terry doing his thing, and they had that conversation with what was he trying to run for mayor or governor or something like that. Um, I like the way I'm just gonna say I like the way that Markeisha is trying to move on behalf of Terry. So I will give her props for that. Even though a lot of people don't like her, I like that she's trying to maneuver and trying to, get some type of way to make sure that CPS is off their back and that Terry Jr. is safe. So I did like this scene. And then of course we got the extroverted Henrietta coming over and talking
Mm.
her junk. And it was just like, oh God, here she comes. Honestly, I'm really kind of like tired of her already because it's just too like we said it. I think we agreed upon it, Attorney Ashley, Sweet Pea, that we we just really don't like how she is just being so extra. And it's just like she's trying too hard a little bit. So, I think
Yeah,
I think Markeisha held it down. Yeah.
yeah, I think it's being overacted. But so we go here to this gambling hall. And again, I was like, why did Terry bring Big Quiche to the gambling hall? But this was all in an effort, right? To get
Mhm.
with a judge that she knew from previous business dealings from her husband, right?
Right.
And to get him to side on their case in terms of the CPS case for Terry. So that's what this whole event was about. Of course, Mrs. Steal Your Girl, Henry came and did, nothing less than what I thought she would do, which was
Mhm.
shoot her shot at Big Quiche all in front of Terry. Like she sunned Terry in that moment. And I don't know how I felt about it. How did you feel about that moment?
She did and she didn't. She tried. He was just like, "Oh, whatever. I'm hitting the skins. You ain't hitting nothing over here." And like I said, a good woman will hold her man down. And even though she's not officially his girl, but when she did approach Markeisha, Markeisha said, "Get the f out my face." So
Yeah,
that's what a
in
good
front of
woman
T.
should do
In front of
whenever a
T.
man in front or even behind, whatever the case is. That's what a good woman should do. You
Oh,
you
should
you got
she?
somebody
Is that
approaching you and
is that
and
what a
and
good
trying to
woman
come
would
on
do?
to you. A good
Hmm.
woman to say, you know what? Get out my face. I'm not interested in you. You know what I'm
Oh, in
saying?
front of
Or
her
you
man,
know
of
what?
course she
Or
would.
you know what? I'm with somebody right now. You know what?
Well, not even her
We'll
man
we'll, we'll,
because
we'll
they're
get
in
in.
a
We'll get
they're in
into it
a
later.
they're in a debaucherous
They're in a
relationship
they're
already.
in a
So I mean,
situationship. They're in a
mm,
situationship. That's what I call it, right? But it is
mm,
what it is.
mm.
Suburbia Jones in the building. Salute. Tati Money. Salute. Y'all know what to do.
Monique. Of course she gonna help Terry with CPS due to she is the one that called them. Absolutely she did.
She
And so
didn't
I
call.
mean really just cleaning up her own mess
That's
in
not
my
facts.
opinion.
It's not facts.
Now
I object.
I might this might be calling something early, but I don't know. Henry might pull Big Quiche. I don't know. We're gonna see how the season plays out.
I don't
We're
think
going to
she's gonna
see.
pull her unless it's for the purpose, right? Keisha, she's the let me move and do what she needs to do. Listen, it is what it is. Like
Yeah.
she held it down for her, whatever you want to call them, situationship. Okay.
I like what my good sis Latoya said. Jay, Please don't put good woman and Big Quiche in the same sentence.
I'm going to do that. I'm saying
Because in
that
this case,
I'm not
Big
saying she was a
Quiche
good
is
woman.
really an adulteress.
Let me
This
let
is
me
an adulteress.
let me clear it up for you, birthday girl. I didn't say that she was a good woman. I said that's what good women do. They hold down their man. Okay, that's what I
Hmm,
said. That's what good women do.
hmm,
So I never called
okay.
her a good woman.
What's happening here? What's happening here, Mr. J?
I don't
In
know. Why
this
don't you tell
scene
me? Why
with
don't you
T?
set up the scene for us and let's
So
discuss it.
basically, Big T is kind of aware now Meech is in town. And I believe this is the scene where he's kind of corralling them and getting them ready. But he
Yeah,
also has a CPS officer coming to do a check kind of simultaneously. Things are going off the rails all at once.
yeah.
How do you feel like the crew responded? Did they respond appropriately?
I think they did until they started to get annoying. When CPS did show up, which was kind of
Can I get
funny.
macaroni too?
Like I thought they was playing. He was like, "All right, play along," but they kept playing. So I mean, they did what they had to do. But your boy again, Terry showing his true colors is just being that general. Be like, "Yo, if you don't stop playing, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I said play along, but don't be silly. You know what I mean? Like, I need to handle this real quick." So I mean, I think it was okay. It didn't mess up things too bad.
Okay, now here is the pickle. I guess a lot was lost in translation with Big Loco and Meech. Meech thought it was 250 bricks. Apparently, it was 2,500 bricks. So, right, the plane was bigger than he expected. We assumed correctly that the pilot said, "I'm not helping you do nothing. I'm not helping you
Right.
unload anything." So we watched, I think, for about a good 5 minutes, Meech walk brick by brick from the plane to the van that he borrows or rents from one of the fellow workers there on the dock. So what did you think
Right.
about this? What was your mindset? Would you have done what Meech did?
Again, it was like ridiculous. I mean, as we discussed in the predictions, because I did notice the bricks were in that area where the door is open. And I knew that was more than 250 bricks. Like it's ridiculous, like crazy. So I thought it was kind of funny. I thought it was just outlandish. He had a great idea to get that van, made sure that the guy said, "Hey, you don't see me. You don't see me, man." You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. But what we do see that we didn't discuss was Brian was right
Mhm.
outside watching
Absolutely.
Beach. Yeah, 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 yeah.
And
I like how
Terry
that played
warned
out.
him. Terry warned him before
Yeah.
Meech, was making this plan, other than the fact that Big Meech didn't have a license. I didn't like that part. He said, "You're
Yeah.
gonna drive all the way out there without a license. Bryant
Yeah.
is on the warpath. He's, whatever." So I think we kind
Mhm.
of went into it with an awareness that Bryant was gonna be all over it. He, of
Yeah.
course, also met with Henry, who said, "I want you on him. When they get back to
Mhm.
the stash house, we're gonna take everything and mess up their whole deal." And that played out differently. I mean, Big Meech, I don't who's on Big Meech's side, because he's always saved just in the nick of time in these moments, because Bryant was hot on the trail, follows him and the pilot to a diner. We don't have any pictures for that.
Yeah.
But what did you think of that whole interaction? Him trying to block Meech in the van and the pilot and the
Well, again, salute to
popo.
Big Meech because, even Terry stated it. He was like, "Yo, I don't know if he's a genius or he's just outright just stupid because he's just taking all these big risks. He has no license. He's about to go get these, what we thought was 250 keys, turns out to be 2,500. So, yeah, he's a brave man. And, because of his bravery, because of him taking the risk, it turned out to be great. But let's go to the diner. I thought it was very clever, even though Meech was super nervous when Brian just rolled up, sitting there looking like a daggone stalker, right? Looking like like he's stalking him,
Case
right?
next
And
case.
and the pilot, yeah, the pilot just rolled into the diner all slow, like, "All right, I'll be right back," or whatever, whatever. But Meech came up with the ultimate plan, called the pilot and said, "Hey, do this. Talk to the cops. Let them know that this guy's been telling us and all this and that. You think this is very suspicious." I thought it was very clever what Meech did. So shout out to Meech on thinking on his feet and getting that guy to talk to the cops so the cops can roll up on Bryant. I thought it was dope.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
it just goes to show that certain people are going to believe certain people in every instance.
Exactly.
No matter what Brian
Hello.
said, it was like
Amen
it don't matter.
walls. Hello.
Exactly. And so now we have Amberson and Jen. And also another scene that we didn't see is that Bryant and Jen finally have a talk, and we finally find out what happened to those two bricks. What did you think of those interactions?
I definitely want to give a shout out to DeMarcus. I don't see him, but DeMarcus Vaughn did predict that she was going to replace the ones that they took out of evidence and put it back in there. So shout out to my guy DeMarcus for that. But yeah, her saying, "Listen, I learned a few tricks from your scurvy ass." You know what I'm saying? Like, I see what it is. She's learning her way through this corrupt department, or I wouldn't say department, just being around him, period, because he's just a real like shisty cop. So she's learning the tricks of the trade. So I thought it was pretty clever what she did. But what he said was pretty important for us to remember. And I think it kind of goes with his nature of, hey, you know what, I'm going to do whatever it takes. And I'm gonna do whatever it takes for the family. Whatever I need to do, and whatever you think I'm doing it for my son. Now, again, this is happening now because he's locked up. Before that, it was all about Meech and T. He wasn't thinking about his son, but
No.
now that Kevin is locked up, now it's a change of heart. Now I'm going to start working with the dealers, and I'm working with all the scurvy people in town just so I can get protection. And it's like, bro,
But
like
it's still not.
he's
I wish
desperate.
I wish I could say, Bryant, that this was still all about his son, but it's still not.
Oh
His
no.
his anger and need for revenge is still outweighing, to me, his love and care for his son. The whole setup with him taking out her cousin and then blaming it on me. I
Mhm.
just think he's exerting a lot of energy in BMF when his
Yeah.
100% focus should be on his child, in
Yeah.
my opinion. In my opinion.
Your
Okay.
opinion.
Oh,
Okay.
here goes Auntie Lucille. Okay, so now actually let's go. No, let's go somewhere else first because I
Yeah,
don't
let's go
know
somewhere
where.
else because
Okay,
we'll
here
we'll
we go.
address that. There we go.
No, and we'll go back because this I don't know how my slides got out of order, but
It's okay.
this is what happened first before that, right? So Nicole
Right.
had a kickback. What we thought, right?
Mhm.
Nobody was home, nobody parents was home. She told Lucille that she was having friends over,
Yes.
uh, but didn't say there was going to be boyfriends there. So there we have
Right.
Breeze and then an unknown set of people there. What do you think
Mhm.
about this? It was innocent though. It was innocent for that
Well,
moment.
again, we go with the double standard, right? Unfortunately, it is what it is. We got to keep it 1,000. There's a double standard. You know what I'm saying? What is okay for boys to do is not okay for girls to do, right? It's not okay for girls to bring home boys and be in the house by yourself or even have the door closed, right? So it's a double standard. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. But yeah, you're right. It was innocent. They were just kicking it, having fun. Didn't look like they was going to get too promiscuous or whatever the case is. The boy got his arm around her, but who knows where it went? I mean, when she did fall back after not winning on the game, and he kind of put his arms around her, on her shoulders, and she's sitting in between his legs. It was kind of like, of course, if I was a mother or father walking in the door, I'd be like, "What the hell? What is going on?" Like, I would be. Listen, I'm not
You'd
being
be
all.
hot.
I would be upset. Like seriously, I think any parent who didn't know that there was, friends of the opposite sex at the house, that's a problem. That's a
Yeah.
problem. So
Now I
I
agree with that. And I don't
yeah,
necessarily agree with the double standard because I feel like my son or daughter having not let me know who's coming over and I see that y'all are having a whole kickback
yeah,
for y'all. It's problematic, boy or girl. So yeah.
yeah.
But innocent on the surface, but then they get busted, right? By
Mhm.
Lucille. She's right in there. And so now they have to have a conversation with the unfinished walls. Um Lucille is like, if your name, the sign behind her, right, says if your name doesn't end in Flenory, I don't want you up those stairs. And of course, him overreacting. Dirty D Charles says, I'm not staying downstairs, Lucille. She's like, I'm not talking about you, right? I'm talking about Nicole. She had
Now hold
friends
on,
over
hold on. I'm sorry.
and
I'm sorry.
everything that happened.
We
What?
we have to back this up because I remember the episode differently. I remember her actually going to see the doctor before this conversation happened. I don't know if I'm wrong.
Oh,
Maybe.
was it? And I thought
Yeah,
that the doctor scene was after that, but we can go back. That's not a
yeah.
problem.
I believe that this happened before, and then she went and had that conversation with Charles and finally just kind of like,
Okay.
told him what was going on. But yeah, okay.
But
Go
either
ahead and
way,
talk
then
about it.
let's get into it. Explain what's happening in this scene.
Well, after that whole, I'm walking in and seeing my daughter with these boys, she's very concerned. Not only with the tampon, but she's also concerned that, shoot, Nicole might get pregnant because she's now, being around boys a lot. Right. So she's going to the doctor, even though she could have went to anybody else. She could have went to her own doctor, but she went to her friend,
She
right?
didn't have
Her
to pay for
old
this
friend.
visit because Chuck couldn't pay for a doctor visit. But
Well, you don't really have to pay for any visits to go get pamphlets. So it's really not
well,
a question
consultation
of
and ask
you don't have to
questions.
do you can go to any community center to get pamphlets.
Well, she had
But
a
anyway,
consultation with him, but okay,
not
and that
yes and
costs money.
no, yes and
Yeah,
no.
yeah,
There's
it
no
can.
copay. I mean,
It can.
again, for those who are in Michigan and Detroit, please let us know because we have no idea. But I don't think you have to go to pay a copay. But anyway, she went and spoke to him, and she got some information, and yeah, she is getting information and walking away. All right.
Exactly. Went right in for an innocent assessment, a consultation, if you
Innocent.
will,
Yeah,
to
but then it
find
turned
out.
non-innocent because
We'll see.
she was rubbing his hand. I
Eh.
mean, if you move the comment out the way, you'll clearly see that she was clearly rubbing his hand a little, and they
Friends
had a
can
little
shake
spark.
hands.
But
There's nothing wrong with shaking hands as a
there's
married
nothing
woman
wrong with shaking
or a
hands,
married
but there's
husband.
something wrong with a married woman rubbing on a man's hands and
She's not his hand is actually over
Google
hers.
eyeing
He's
him.
cradling her. I think if we could zoom in, I can't.
I
Um,
wish we had the video. It's okay. We'll get
I
into it later.
do,
We'll get into
because
it
I'm
later.
looking at her hand inside of his. If we're just looking at
Mhm.
what the evidence on the screen right now, I see her
We'll,
hand
we'll, it's
cradled
okay.
by his, but,
That's all right. We'll
you
get
know,
into it later. It's okay.
okay,
We'll-
okay,
Let's save
okay.
that for later.
When she saw Charles walking out, she did. Yeah, she did get hot. I don't know if we have that
Oh yeah,
picture.
oh yeah. She got hot when she came home from work and he had a plate for her. We
She
forgot
was
that
in
part.
the neighborhood. Exactly,
Yeah.
Latoya, in the neighborhood. Yes, Jay, you have to pay for a consultation. Yeah.
Okay. Well, guess what?
But let's,
She could have went to anybody for a pamphlet. Okay. Community centers have pamphlets
okay, and
Miss
then
Latoya.
then here's the conversation. Again, Lucille had put the writing on the wall that no one other than a Flenory could go up the stairs. Charles, of course, misinterpreted it. You know, because he was on edge, I suppose. And she's like, no, Nicole, had guests over it. That's a good young man. Breeze is a nice young man. That's what Charles says. Charles isn't worried at all.
Can we back it up for a little bit though? Because I
Go
think
ahead.
you're missing some pieces.
Go ahead.
The reason why this conversation is happening is because Charles is actually painting the drywall.
Finally. Mm-hmm.
Right. And she is very surprised at that. So Charles is trying to do what she asked. He's trying to do what should have been done. We admit it. Okay. And she's very surprised at that. And then she
Yeah.
has this conversation. But we do have to say that, at this point, he asked about the doctor. You want to talk about that? Or you want to wait?
Yeah, he asked about the doctor
Okay.
and the check. And she said, yeah, he donated to the charity. He was there at the volunteer event, completely open and honest about the interaction.
Was it open?
Yeah, I feel so.
No, it wasn't.
It's what
But
he,
anyway.
it's what he needed to know. It's more than he
Okay.
would have ever told her. In my
That's not
mind,
true.
nothing's happened. I think he brought her a
Well,
popcorn ball. They
again, are
sat,
we
they
talking about
talked,
Charles or are we talking
they
about
chatted.
Lucille?
We're talking about both.
What he said was, listen, I'm trying to have an honest conversation and move forward.
And
she
she's not.
said,
reiterating-
I'm trying to be transparent, but she wasn't transparent.
Well, here's the thing, Jay.
She wasn't transparent. He had to ask her about it. She should have been upfront and just told him, hey, listen, my high school friend came in town.
No,
Yeah.
the onus wasn't on her. She shared when asked. I think that's appropriate. And furthermore, Lucille has
She's
no
a married
interest.
woman. But she is a
She has
married
no
woman.
interest in continuing this marriage. She's asked for a
Well,
divorce
she's still
on
married at
2
this point.
occasions. Okay. And he's kind of flat out rebuffed her on both ends. But I think once asked, she answered appropriately, which is more than he's ever done in terms of answering a direct, honest question.
She asked again. He's not on trial here, so we'll get
and
into
they
that
are
once the trial starts.
separated. She doesn't owe him anything.
She is
Exactly.
separated, but he asked her, and she automatically got defensive. She sure did. You know what she said? She said,
I didn't think that
you know what
is
she said?
defense.
She
I thought
said,
that was
she got defensive. She was like, you have a nerve to ask me after what you did with Mabel. Listen, I'm just trying to be transparent and have an honest conversation. right?
It's interesting now, that he's trying to be transparent when he hasn't been.
But
This
he's
time, I
trying.
don't know.
But he's
A
trying.
man as the
He's
leader, and
trying.
I didn't want to get into this now, but a man as the leader of the household, the head, sets the tone. I believe last season,
Absolutely. We know he
Lucille made
messed
a
up.
statement, and she said, "Fish rots from the head down."
We
Okay,
know he messed up.
so
We
the
admit to it.
tone that's been set in the
Yeah.
marriage, he said it. I'm sorry. It is what it
Okay.
is.
And
And
now
when
he's trying
asked,
to change the tone and trying to correct that tone. But again, this is not going to be easy.
you
We
know,
know
you
that.
know,
So
you
we're
know,
not saying that he shouldn't. We're not saying that he shouldn't just stop talking to her. He's going to try. He's going to try and continue to
at,
try. But go ahead.
at this
I
point,
think we can come back to that in the trial though.
it's
We can
really
do that.
kind of irrelevant, but I mean, whatever you feel, you wanna
No,
say about it.
we're
When
gonna go
asked
with
a direct
facts and not
question, she
feelings.
answered honestly.
We're
That's
gonna go with facts and not feelings, but
and
it's
that's
okay.
facts. When asked,
We'll
she
come back.
answered.
She did answer after being defensive about it.
Asked and
So she
answered.
wasn't being upfront about that, right?
Asked and
She's
answered.
really hiding, the doctor. But anyway, let's continue.
Yep. And so after all of that goes down, Nicole decides that she's gonna cook dinner for everyone, right? They are
Uh-huh.
gonna have a family moment, and Meech is in town. Terry, they want Terry to come. They want everybody to come. And so this is why we got the red dress. Not for really any other purpose. Her purpose was to have a nice family dinner.
I can agree.
What did you think of the dinner? How do you think that went?
It was a botch. It was all botched up because again, Nicole had her ulterior motives to say, "Hey, listen, I brought this meeting together to discuss why y'all so interested in me and what I'm doing." After she just really blasted. Shout out to Nicole, okay, because she really went in like Diana on Power. Boy, this was like little Diana right here, just in Michigan and with BMF. And shout out to her, man. Like she really just wanted to get stuff off her chest. And I think that, yeah, yeah. Oh, well, thank you. I
Well,
appreciate
yeah, yeah. Go ahead and read that, Jay. Go ahead and read that comment.
it. I'm good. I'm gonna let the people read it. It's okay. Thank you. I appreciate the love. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Sharon. I appreciate the love. But yeah, yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah.
it went crazy and Nicole got whatever she wanted off her chest.
Yeah,
Do you
Nicole
think
let
that
him
she
have
was
it.
right? Do you think that
Um,
she was right in doing that the way that she did it?
I'm kind of big on, we honor our father and mother. We do that. However,
Mhm.
I can't do anything but agree with what young Nicole said. She says, yeah, an adult. That's me. And the dad was like, "You're not." She was like, "Oh yeah, I am, because you guys have all made me adults." And if we look at the things that Nicole has gone through as what, like a 14, 15-year-old, maybe 13, um,
Mhm.
she's been in some really adult situations. I mean, she's had a
Yes.
boyfriend unalived right in front of her. She's
Yep.
been privy to really grown up situations as it relates to her parents, and her daddy's infidelity. We've seen a
And
lot of things
Meech
that have,
and T getting pregnant, getting the girls
yeah,
pregnant and having all
and
that, yeah.
yeah, and
And
her being held to
also
a
being
different standard.
exposed to, like,
Her
exposed
smile,
Lucille exposing her to
a
flirting with
smile,
a man that is not, her husband. Yeah, that too. We'll
a
get into
smile.
that.
Okay.
A man flirting with a man is not a husband. Yes.
And so then we have Meech and Nicole having a conversation. Now, was this the conversation you thought? I don't think it is, based on our conversation last week.
Well what I did say, I mean, it was close. I said it was a big brother, little sister conversation. He was just relating to her. He was just relating to her. Said, "Hey, listen, I wanted to leave too. It is what it is. Like you can't leave yet." But she's asking him to stop doing what he's doing. He's like, "Yo, I vow to myself. This was powerful to me. I vowed to myself that I won't let anybody dictate my life. I'm gonna dictate my own life." So he was like, "Listen, I'm gonna do what I can to hold you down," which I appreciate this conversation. Like, I'm your big brother. I'm gonna do what I can, even though I'm in the game. I'm in this system. I'm doing my thing that you may not like it, and other people may not like it, but I'm gonna make sure you're straight either way.
Yeah, it was. I will say it was kind of a heartwarming conversation. I just feel like, in terms of Meech and his statement, not letting anyone else dictate what he does, it was kind of a cop out. He was responsible,
She flirted
with
with her
Omar
eyes.
on the
Yeah.
run.
Mhm.
And so brother to sister, absolutely. But in terms of justifying the lifestyle, I don't quite buy that. Okay. that later that night after the dinner. Do you wanna talk about this? You wanna take this?
Not
'Cause
yet.
I'm wrapping up this.
I'm not ready to talk about that yet. You can
Oh.
talk about it. You can
We're
talk about the
wrapping
scene.
up. So it's after dinner. And Lucille's kind of flustered because, Nicole's just read everyone the riot act. She needed some fresh air. Okay.
Mhm.
And she felt as though she had lied to Dr. Feelgood. She was like, told
Good.
him everything was going great in the marriage, and so she kind of just opens up to him and she's like, listen, uh, maybe God is closing one door to open this window. And I said, maybe the Lord is in due season and due time. We'll see what happens. I think he gets a little excited when he heard that. And
Oh,
he starts pressing up on her a little bit. An
oh.
innocent kiss was exchanged, and Lucille went home. That's what happened.
Woo! Okay. We're gonna talk about that,
Yeah.
definitely.
Love
And
the
once we
sister
start the
brother, but
case,
exactly, Monique. A
yeah,
little,
so you know what
little
though? I'm gonna ask the moderator. I'm gonna ask this the person bringing up the slides. If you are gonna bring up the slides, please bring up all the slides, and not the
what?
ones that just agree with you. That's
What do
all
you
I ask.
what do you mean? There was no other slide in there.
I'm not talking about the slide. I'm sorry, the comments. Okay, the comments.
Oh,
Just be
oh,
fair with the
oh.
comments. That's all. It's okay.
Well, some people are just, okay. Ashley, what the head are you talking about? That one that Lucille denied him. What? I hadn't referenced anything in the past yet, Suburbia, but I will later on. Absolutely.
Thank you
Do
for
you know what
being
he's
fair with
referring
the
to?
comments. The one that Lucille denied him at 3 in the morning. Um,
You have to clarify that for me because I didn't
yeah,
make a reference to anything from the past yet.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Sharon says, is Dr. Maurice taking new patients? Absolutely. Dr. Feelgood. That's
Not
how
Dr. Phil Good.
we And
Not
so
Dr. Phil.
so
You
we
reading
also
your own comments. Okay. Cuddy. He's talking about Cuddy. Okay.
I still don't.
Okay.
Okay, and
Okay.
so here is the last scene here.
Mhm.
Well, one of the last scenes, and some other things happened that I thought were important. I really liked the Roland situation, who was the one who's been bringing the Flenorys groceries, kind of Meech's hands and feet while he's away in Atlanta, and him having a baby and saying that he's ready to leave, and how the brothers responded. What did you think of that
Yeah.
moment? I actually thought it was a beautiful moment.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. You know, again, re-emphasis on family, right? So it's the Black Mafia family. Meats and T, they all about family. They understand it. You know what I mean? It's like, listen, you got to do what you got to do. You got to be around to take care of your son or your daughter or whatever you had with, the young lady. So do what you got to do. You can right across the street. If we need you, we'll call you. So I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool.
Absolutely. I like
Yeah.
that too, and I liked how we closed out playing video games and Nicole with her 2 brothers being
Yeah.
surrounded. I like that. I really enjoyed that. It did feel kind of like reunification in that moment,
Hmm.
um, but I'm always concerned when I see moments like this because I feel like heck's gonna break loose.
You think
I
that
don't
something's going to happen to Roland now that he's like not with them? You think that's going to
or
happen?
or the family, just that they're gonna run into some hiccups.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know yet. And I believe I wanted to go back and look at Tiffany TV's comment. The color red is significant. Color in TV and film, absolutely. It typically represents something that they want to project to the audience. I don't think in this instance it's true. Nicole is
Yes.
very intelligent,
Well, yeah.
absolutely.
She said she had to grow up fast, pretty much. Yeah.
Lucille denied him the good at 3 a.m. She didn't. She had to be at work at 6 in the morning. They
I
respected
get
his
that.
decision. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Couldn't have been Franklin.
No.
Franklin would have been like, you can't quit. I own you.
Right.
That's what
Right.
Franklin would have
Give
said.
me
So
$3 million. Crazy.
so now here we are. And this is actually one of the last scenes. The other one for some reason wouldn't upload for me. But we have Henry and her cousin here. After everything has went astray, Bryant has failed her yet again.
Yet
Brian
again.
is 0-2 at this point. So my whole theory here is Bryant's going to take her out or she's going to take Bryant out because I think she's getting sick of him at this point. Henry erred on the side of caution and didn't make any play on Meech and the deal that was going on. And so now she and her cousin are just commiserating, kind of in bitterness. What do you think Henry has planned going forward.
Mm, yeah, we're gonna cut her water off real soon. Like it's time to get up out of here. Like we okay. So because we know that Terry and Meech are going to be around, um, who's going to take her out? Possibly Brian, because I think Brian, while he's doing what he got to do, she did threaten to take Kevin's protection away. So now that they can't reach him, she might do that, take his protection away. Something's going to happen to Kevin, and then Brian's going to probably take out Henrietta
Yeah.
because now I believe Kevin's going to be out of here. I think something bad's going to happen to Kevin.
Yeah, I think something bad's already starting to happen to him in
Yeah.
there. He may have gotten a short reprieve by whoever Henry had on the inside.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm inclined to believe that's true. Either she's going to take Brian out, or he's going to take her out, or it's going to be a mutual destruction there. In Suburbia, Ashley, you said the fish rots from the head down, and I wanted you to specify what had you talking about. Oh yeah, that's just something that was said. I wasn't referencing any specific moment other than Lucille said that after everything came out.
She was taking a
about
shot at the dinner table that one time last season at Charles. It was one line that she said. Yeah.
Bryant is going to be the cause of his son. Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
because he can't focus
Well,
when
now
he
that he
says.
got locked up. Yeah, he got locked up because Meech set him up, so she can't contact him. So she's probably gonna take the protection away. And yeah, Kevin, I think Kevin is out of here, to be honest with y'all. I'm just kind of doing predictions ahead of time. Like Kevin is going to be taken out. Yeah.
I'm sad. I'm sad because Kevin, I feel like, is just an innocent victim in this. I mean,
Yes.
he's not innocent as he did take somebody out, but I think just the lack of care and concern his parents had for him up to that point. His father ill-equipped him for the future, and so did his mother, for that
His
matter.
mom, that
Um,
was man.
but yeah, he just didn't stand a chance. He was being bullied. He wasn't given any tools on how to address that in school. I mean, what
Mhm.
did we think was going to happen? A person can only take so much. You know what I
That is
mean?
true. That is true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy. I know, Candy. Lord have mercy. That'll be a tearjerker for sure.
Yeah, Latoya, you saw it too, right? Yeah, you
Oh,
saw it.
lordy,
Mhm.
lordy,
They was all in
lordy.
black too. So yeah.
All black like the omen.
You love that line, huh?
Yeah. Hey, whenever applicable, trying to be patient and impartial in regards to Miss.
Good.
Okay. Okay.
It is
It's about
time.
that time. It is. It is. I am going to remove that from the stage, and you are going to have the absolute floor. Um, I'm out of this thing, and it's you, and I think I can.
Still there,
There
right?
you go. Yeah, I was just seeing how to put you on there by yourself, and then you can present your
You still
stuff.
have okay. You still have them. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is time for court. So thank you, Ashley, for uh having this stage for us to discuss this today. Family, you know what time it is. It is time for the people versus, that's right, Lucille Flenory. And we're going to talk today. And I'm going to present to you, and I have, if you can pull up the slides for me, I do have my opening statements for this. And again, I need to go through this again. Let me make sure this is working here. There it is. The case of the people versus Lucille Flenory. All right, family. So I do want to give, first and foremost, a disclaimer. I want to let everybody know that I am not a lawyer. Okay. I know I look like one, but I am not a lawyer. I think I can speak for Ashley. She's not a lawyer either. Again, this is strictly for entertainment purposes. Okay. We do have respect and love for the Flenory family, for 50, for stars, for the show. We love the show. It is just really good. And that's why we're here today to talk about this today. So much respect to Big Meech, Southwest T. I'm not a lawyer. We're just having fun. All due respect. All right. That's my disclaimer. And we're going to deal again in fact, not feelings. Facts, not feeling. All right. So this is my opening statement here. All right. My opening argument, family. All right. And we're going to talk today about Miss Lucille. Now, again, I want to let everybody know that what the defense is going to do today is they are going to talk and try to build a case based off of the entire 3 seasons, right? Which is fine. That's okay. I think you already know. If you watch BMF, you already know kind of what happened. Again, we're not here to defend Charles at all. We're not here to defend Charles at all. We know he did wrong, right? He paid the price. He is now serving time at the Flenory family prison in cell block T, which is T's room, and he's not getting anything from his wife at this point, right? So I want to present to you today all the reasons why Lucille Flenory is guilty of committing adultery against her husband because she is still married. Absolutely, she is committing adultery. If you can hold on with the comments for a second. I have these slides coming up. And family, again, this is all in fun, but she is absolutely guilty of committing adultery and cheating on her husband based on the Michigan Penal Code Act 328 of 1931. Again, 750-30 adultery, section 30. Okay. Again, this is a fictional case. Okay. We're just having fun here. All right. Fictional case. So today I'm going to show you guys and give you evidence on the maximum charge of adultery with the minimum charge of cheating. And either I'm going to prove without a shadow of a doubt that she has either committed both or one of the two. Of course, you will be the judge. Follow along, have fun. Okay, this is all fun and games. It's just for the show. And that is my opening statements. Now to the defense.
Hey, y'all, let's get into it. I just want to start out by saying that Lucille is innocent. She is not a hoe, a harlot, an adulterer. The only crime Auntie Lucille is guilty of is loving the wrong man. During this trial, I will prove beyond a reasonable doubt and preponderance of the evidence that Lucille Flenory is completely innocent. I will provide a timeline of the demise of this marital contract and the pain and emotional suffering Lucille endured for years. I will also prove that the peck that was shared between her and Dr. Feelgood didn't amount to a hill of beans. We will discuss what defines infidelity and what separation consists of. During this trial, the prosecution will try and make you believe all manner of evil about Lucille. He will say that the past doesn't matter. Don't be persuaded by his wiles, ladies and gentlemen. It's his desire to paint a scarlet letter on Lucille, and I can't allow it. Don't believe the hype, ladies and gentlemen. Lucille is our sister. She's our auntie. She's us. Let's keep that in mind. Lucille is a woman of God who had one weak moment. As we proceed, remember these 3 things. If Peen didn't meet Vagine, Lucille is clean. 2, if they didn't get down low, Charles has to go. And 3, if it wasn't unzipped, you must acquit. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I will pass it back over to Jay now to present his case.
Well, family, that was pretty cute, huh? That was pretty cute. You know, the one-liners, that was pretty cute. She's pretty good at that. Shout out to Sweet Pea on that one right there. So again, I am not here to paint an evil picture of anyone, family. Again, I'm here to state facts, okay? And again, we're just basing it off of not speculation. We're basing it off of not I would say, well, this possibly could have happened. No, we're basing it on the actual events that happened in the episodes. Okay. Now, as I mentioned before, she is going to go back and give you a timeline of how Charles tried to basically do what a husband would want to do, which is make love to his wife. So let's get into this really quick, family. I'm going to break down and basically establish this case against Miss Flenory. We love you, Miss Flenory. We do. But I want to start with the wedding vows because I think that it's very important for us to really establish this. This is happening back when they got together. When they were married, it was probably what you would say the late 70s, early 80s, or let's say it was probably the 70s, right? So, my research team, they did their research and they came up with a general vow statement, right? Now, this is a general vow that, you know, significant others can say to each other. So I'm going to read this and read this along with me. I'm going to fill in the spaces for you. And then we're going to absolutely break this down and see and show where Lucille did not hold true to her vows. Okay. All right. So it says, in the name of God, I, Lucille, take you, Charles, to be they usually say, lawfully wedded husband, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better or for worse. Let's stop right there. I highlighted that. Now, again, we don't know exactly what happened to Charles. We know that, when the kids were younger, things were better, right? The cost of living was probably lower, right? The price of gas was probably under $1 back then, right? Can you believe it? Back in the 70s, the 80s, even the 90s, it was under $1, right? So it was probably better back then. And as time rolls on, we don't know exactly how he lost money or wasn't making enough money. But again, in the vows, it says for better or for worse. So if you're married or whatever the case is, if a couple comes together and they unite as one in marriage, right? It's for better or for worse. It's not always going to be better. Sometimes it's going to be a worse time. And at this time, there's a worse time going on where Charles is not making enough. So what does a significant other do, right? They step up and they contribute as well. Now, again, it's not going to be the easiest thing. It's not going to be all roses. It's not going to be, the lavish life. He's not a doctor or a lawyer. He's not any of that. He's just a good man trying to have a family with a good woman, right? For better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, right? So even if he was rich, that's good. But if he's poor, do you throw the man out? Do you throw your husband out? Because now you have to step up as a woman to help out, to hold down the family as you're holding down the family as you're coming together as husband and wife, right? Okay. Sickness and health to love. Let's talk about that word love really quick. Now, love, it's not just a love song, right? We're talking about love, right? It's an action word. Okay. So she's loving the family, loving the kids, right? Putting love into the home, right? Doing what she can do. But also love means to make love, to unite as one, to become one flesh with your husband, right? So these are vows that both of them have made. And in the beginning, season 1, when she was tired and he wanted to make love to his wife because he still loves his wife, right? Loved his wife prior to, even now he loves his wife. But she did not fulfill or stay committed to the vows that she made in order to give love to her husband. As I mentioned before, she could have slid it to the side. He could have slid in real quick, could have slid out, whatever the case is, but to love and to cherish. Okay. Now, again, we know that these are vows made on both hands. Again, we are specifically talking about Lucille. We already know what happened with Charles. Let me tell you this. The defense will try to say, well, you made these vows. He made these vows too. We got it. But we're not talking about Charles today. We're talking about the actions of Lucille. Okay. All right. So they came together, they got married, and look at this beautiful family, right? Look at this beautiful family, right? We have Charles. We have Lucille, we have Big Meech, Demetrius, Terry, T, Nicole, and LaWanda, and a baby on the way. Beautiful family, right? Doing the best that they can with what they have. Okay? Beautiful family. And again, not here to bash Lucille. I'm not here to bash Lucille at all. Okay? She's a hardworking mother. She's a grandmother. And she may have been employee of the month at Wendy's, right? A couple of times, okay? Like, she is absolutely a God-fearing woman. We know that, right? And we found out also in this season that she was in the system. She didn't want anything to happen to Terry Jr., right? Because, again, the system really messed her up, made her feel like she was nothing. But here she is. She rose to the occasion. Now she's the mother of the family, right? Holding it down, doing the best she can. And she's working at Wendy's. Now, she may not like it, but this is what's necessary as the other half to help out with the household. Now, again, if Charles was a rich man, if he made it in the music industry, then we wouldn't be having this conversation today. But she does have to step up, and she's doing that. So we give her props for that. We give her a check for that. Okay? We give her props for doing that. Oh, sorry. Wrong one. There it is. We give her props for doing that. Okay? But not everyone is perfect. She's not perfect. None of us are perfect. We do make mistakes. Now, again, he does love her. He made a mistake. He's paying for that mistake, right? Seasons 1 and 2, he's paying for that mistake. He's asking, do you still love me? He's hugging her. He felt the love. But she is saying, I still want to go through with the divorce because every time I see you inside of Mabel. Okay. Now, they easily could have said, you know what? How about we go to marriage counseling? How about this? No, she doesn't want to do that. Now, again, she is a woman of God, right? And if she's a woman of God, again, I don't question her faith, but, at the same time, it says forgive, right? Forgive, right? Okay. Some things are forgivable, some things are not. But then you need to go to your new church, get counsel, or whatever the case is. But my point of bringing this up, let's say at this point in season 3, Charles and Lucille are still married, family. They are still married. On paper, they are still married. They may be separated, living in the same house, but they are still married, family. Okay? So let's talk about it. Let's get right to it. Again, I'm not going to waste your time and give you all the backdrops of season 1 and 2. We're going to get right to it, family. Okay? So here we are, the reuniting of Dr. Maurice and Lucille, and she sees him, right? He's saying that, he misses her and he never thought he'd see her again. And we all seen this scene right here, right? But it's clear he's asking about Charles, trying to be respectful. And she doesn't want to talk about Charles, right? She doesn't want to talk about Charles, but she doesn't tell him that they're getting a divorce. She doesn't tell him anything, right? First meeting, it's okay. And he gives her a card, say, hey, how about we get together, right? And she's very hesitant because she is a woman of God. They are at the church, right? And at the same time, Nicole is playing with little Breeze, and she wants to make sure that Nicole is not looking. So he gives her the card, and she's looking over his shoulder. You see that bottom right? Let me bring it up. You see that bottom right here? She's looking over the doctor's shoulder. If nothing is wrong, if this is innocent, why is she looking over the doctor's shoulder at Nicole to make sure she's not looking? She takes the card, puts it in her bosom, while looking dead in his eyes, touching herself by putting that into her bosom as he is looking on. You see that bottom right corner? He is truly showing her that he still wants her. And she did all that, and you say it's innocent? Okay. If it's that innocent, why is she looking guilty? Why? Because she's still married, family. She is still married. Okay? Nothing wrong with meeting your old flame from high school, your prom date, and all this and that. But he has clearly made it known that he wants to be with her. Yes, he's flirting with her, but she took the card. Okay? So we're going to get to it. Still prosecuting. Almost there. Hang with me. So let's talk about the act. We looked up the definition of adultery, right? And adultery is what consensual sexual relations when one of the participants is legally married to another. Okay? Gotcha. Okay? So I want to present Exhibit A. And once I present Exhibit A, then I will give it to the defense. Okay? So I'm submitting Exhibit A in the People versus Lucille. Are you ready? Type in the chat below. Are you ready? All right, here we go. Now, again, we see Lucille. Excuse me. Nice dress. Very nice dress. It was for the party. It was for the dinner. We all know what happened at that dinner. But I'm going to take you back a little bit. Let's go back a little bit in between the meeting with the doctor and now. Now, again, I already established that she is still married, right? Separated, okay, but she's still married. So she sees her old flame and she has violated. Again, she has violated already. Why? Because she secretly went to meet up with the doctor with his old popcorn balls. okay? And letting her know, being very clear that he wants her. He wants her. He wants her so bad that he stands up and he touches this married woman to show her that he's really interested, holding her, touching her skin. She is a married woman, sir. And you're doing that. And she is allowing it to happen. I wonder why. Let's move on. Still Exhibit A. She goes to the office. As I mentioned before, she easily could have went to any other doctor. She could have went to another friend before he came to town. Again, he didn't move to town, right? He's been shifted to the town to work in the town. So any doctor advice or anything, she went to someone else. There's community centers, specific community centers, I'm sure. Back then, this is what, the 90s? I'm sure there's community centers where she could have got this information about teen pregnancy and prevention of teen pregnancy. But she decided to go to him. Fine. They had a conversation. He asked about Charles, asked what Charles thought about this and everything else like that. She didn't want to talk about Charles. She didn't tell him that they was in the process of a divorce or anything like that. She just keeps playing along. And when she leaves, she grabs this man's hands and rubs his hands. She's rubbing the black off of his hands. Okay? Trying to see if there's a spark. Now, why is she there? Got to backtrack. She had the conversation with her trifling ass cousin. And her cousin was like, when are you going to go and see that doctor to see if you still have a little spark? And she said, this is what she said now. She said, just because Charles messed up and did, adultery or whatever the case is, I'm not going to do that. But turn around. Oh, he's so fine. He's so successful. And here we are with this crazy, let me get information. But at the same time, I want to see the doctor. She wants to see him. So this is her way of using the whole incident with Nicole to find out about prevention of pregnancy with teens. Conniving. Just to see him, right? Just to go see where he works at. Again, she is rubbing one out here. She's rubbing the skin. Trying to see if there's a spark. She's rubbing the skin so bad, it's about to turn to flames, right? Okay, let's keep going. The conversation with Charles, we talked about a little bit earlier, okay? He's painting the walls. He's trying. He's working out. He's locked up in T's room, working out like he's in jail, showing how sexy he is. You know what I'm saying? She's definitely fanning herself like, oh my God, because she knows he's looking good, right? She knows he's looking good. She still want that man. She's still attracted to that man, okay? But yeah, she did not tell him about the doc coming to town. He had to see the check and ask and say, hey, why didn't you tell me that he came to town? And of course, she gets defensive. How dare you ask me when you messed around with Mabel? Okay, well, listen, I'm just trying to move forward and trying to just be transparent. You know what I'm saying? Whatever we're going to do, I just want to move forward and be transparent. That's all. He gave you a check, and then you tell me about what happened. So the doctor found out what happened to their child before Charles did. Really? Wow. Okay. Again, omission, holding information back, just like she's doing with the doc, she's doing with Charles, playing that game. And last but not least, the most terrible, heinous act that any married woman could ever do. After that dinner and being called out by her daughter that, yeah, Dad, did you know that mom is flirting with, her old flame from high school, the doctor, right? Go to your room. She runs to this guy 8:34 at night. All right. What's Red's working hours? From 9 to 5. This is well after the business day is over. She goes to him. I got to admit, I lied to you. I wasn't truthful to you. I still want you. Of course, he's going to still run up on her because he always wanted her. That was from the beginning. But she fell right into it and she went ahead and made out with that man. Loosey goosey. Loosey goosey. Woman, thou art loose, but you are, at the end of the day, still married. Prosecution rests. I now give it back to the defense.
I'm back. We are going to deal with facts. I won't belabor the point. We are going to get right to it. Let's define adultery, shall we? And the prosecution actually defined it as well. So thank you for that. Uh, can everyone hear me now? I think everyone can hear me now. Can you hear me now? Somebody give me like a thumbs up or just say yes, you can hear me now. Okay, perfect. So let's find adultery. The prosecution defined it for me as well. Voluntary sexual intercourse between a married person and someone other than their person's current spouse or partner. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, there was no again, Peen did not meet vagine. Okay. There was no penetration at all. So therefore, this argument that she's a fornicator, she's an adulterer, she is not. She's just not. He says we don't need a timeline, we don't need background. Yes, we do, but it'll be quick, you guys. Let's get right into it. Charles, his continuous inability to provide. And again, this is a timeline of Charles failing as a husband and breaking of vows. Okay. So again, continuous inability to provide, running scared, ready to leave Lucille in danger when there was trouble on the home front with the boys. Uh, Mama knew Charles wasn't ish. They had a talk about it. You know what I mean? Public embarrassment and shame on a regular basis. This man shamed Lucille over the years in front of everyone with no remorse. Ongoing affair with Mabel. Okay. And when I tell you he didn't end it, Mabel had to end it because she's the one who felt bad. Yet I think the prosecution defined Charles as a good man. Yeah, a good man, Charles has not been since we've known him. And then finally, gaslighting and just lying to Lucille's face when confronted with the truth. Next, let's go over a timeline of Lucille's efforts to keep her vows and her marriage, running to the church house. When I tell you that she was in the church house on the regular, interceding for her marriage, 3 weeks went by. He didn't get any hootenanny. He tries at 3 a.m. one morning and she denies him because she has to go to work at 5 a.m. And he starts getting antsy. Okay. She then throws the cat at him before he steps out, yet he still steps out. He rejects the cat that he supposedly was wanting and what caused him to stray. Finally, she sought counsel from the pastor. When he made advances, she declined those. I just need counsel. Finally, prayer and supplication. Auntie Lucille is a woman of God, okay? And she tried to do what she could do. And excuse me, this is Exhibit C. They're still broke and she still wants a divorce at the start of this current season. He offers counseling. She's over it. Again, the prosecution stated all she can see is him in Mabel. That's not appealing to her. He doesn't provide. He wasn't a good husband. He's publicly shamed her. And now she doesn't want anything. So enters Dr. Feelgood at a church event that he refused to volunteer at. A respectable interaction at a church event Charles couldn't even be bothered to attend. What do we do with this, ladies and gentlemen of the jury? The facts. Okay. 3 weeks went by without sex before Two Pump Chuck started getting antsy. Before he stepped out, Lucille tried to give him the cat. He rejected her, had an illicit affair, which he didn't even end, lied and gaslit Lucille. End of season 2, Lucille asked for divorce. Season 3, she stays persistent in her ask and they are separated. He refuses divorce. In the instance of Dr. Feelgood, Lucille tells her friends and Dr. Feelgood that she can't go low because she's still married. Again, holding on to her reputation. She continuously resists temptation. The little peck they share does not equate to adultery. As we discussed, the definition of adultery is sexual intercourse. Lucille is innocent and conducted herself as a lady who had a temporary moment of weakness after years of mistreatment, y'all. If they didn't get down low, Charles has got to go. If it wasn't unzipped, family, you must acquit. And finally, if Peen didn't meet Vagine, Lucille is clean and the defense rests. I will bring the prosecution up. And it's actually time for your closing statement. Do you need slides or you?
Oh, yes, I need the slides because I'm not done. I have to now absolutely, you know, respond to what you just said. Now, look, family, that was cute. That was real cute. That was real cute. Again, this is about Lucille. I understand that, they are both married, so one does affect the other. I get it. But I want to get into and submit to all of you Exhibit B. She mentioned, there was no, insert of this and that. We don't have that. We don't have those facts, family. But I'm going to show you some things, okay? I'm going to show you some things. I will Exhibit B, family. Exhibit B for bad, because it gets bad and then it gets worse. All right. She refuses to show the truth. So I'm going to show the facts and the truth. Here's the facts, family. Here we go. It is Friday, 8:34 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. Eastern Standard Time. It is well after working hours. This is after the dinner. This lady, Lucille, takes a cab or whatever. There's no Uber back then. She goes over to this man's job, walks in the job with the red dress, right? Oh, is it okay? Oh, yeah, I practically live here, right? And she is now nervous, right? She's now trying to really be upfront with him, right? Okay, 8:34. He's happy to see her. But the fact is this: why are you at this man's job 8:34 at night? Why are you there? You are putting yourself in the position to commit adultery and to cheat on your husband. Whether you feel that you're divorced or feel that you're separated, you say that you're separated. On paper, you're still married. You're still married. You're still married, and you're at another man's job explaining to him how you feel. And he says, it feels like, it's just right? Of course, he's going to say everything that he needs to say to get in your pants. But here's what happens next. This is where it gets worse. Okay, it wasn't an innocent peck. Let's be clear. And that's why I'm saying the defense is super capping right now. You're super capping, because this is more than just a peck. This is a slob. First and foremost, I want to point this out really quick. You have to do better, Lucille. All right? You have to do better. Now, I have sisters, and I know a lot of women. And y'all know the truth. Y'all have the superstition that you should never drop your pocketbook, because if you do put it on the floor, guess what? You're going to be broke, right? Right? That's why she's still broke today. But here she is with the good dot. And here he is. He's making a move. This is not a little peck, ladies and gentlemen. They are inserting their tongues into each other's mouths. Okay? Inserting their tongue, right? Putting her back, putting her pelvis on his pelvis. They are going in. He gets her on the wall. Family, this is more than just a peck. This is cheating on your husband. Okay? Cheating on your husband. Family, this is terrible. She's still married at the end of the day. That is the fact. She's still married. Now, again, she's a God-fearing woman, but guess what? This is very weak. This is a very weak moment for her. She's going all in. They getting it in. Now, again, what happened behind that file? We don't know if he's not putting his fingers into places. We don't know if he didn't take out his whatever. We don't know any of that. You don't have those facts yet. But what we do know is that they are rubbing and tugging and doing all that stuff. Family, it gets to the point that they are going in so hard, right? Going in so hard. She turns around and puts him on the wall. Puts him on the wall, and absolutely he is feeling on that booty. Now, again, fellas, you look at this man's hands. He has basketball hands like me. Big, long hands and long fingers. Guess what? Guess where those fingers might be going as he is doing what he's doing, right? At this point, family, is super bad, super ugly. This is terrible. This is not a peck. She's going in. Guess what? She is still married. At the end of the day, she is still married. I'm showing you the evidence right here. All right? Showing you the evidence that this is more than just a peck. He is feeling all over her body. This is not just, okay, thanks for coming. No, it's not at all. Okay? And then she stops him. If this was the right thing, if this is all good, if everything is all good, why is she stopping? Why is she stopping, family? Answer that question for me. Because it's not all good. You know why? Because she recognizes. I think we all recognize at this point. She's still married. Say it with me. Still married. She stopped because she realized she has a conscience. This is not speculation. This is what it is. She's still married and says, "This, we got to stop." And he says, "I'm going to be here for you, right? I'm going to be here for you." Still married, family. There's no documentation. We did not see Charles sign anything. She's still married. So, family, at the end of the day, she is the one sneaking around with popcorn balls. She is the one making unnecessary doctor visits for consultation about this and that and trying to see if there's a spark based on her, right? Influence from her raggedy ass cousin, right? Absolutely rubbing one out there. And then later on that same day, rubbing it out. Omitting information from Charles, keeping it away from Charles, being sneaky and conniving. And absolutely, we just saw that scene. Again, at the end of the day, she is thou, woman, thou art loose. You are still guilty and you're still married. You should not be doing this. You said, okay, maybe God is showing us that one door is closing, another one's opening up. So how about you close that door first before you go kissing on the doctor? Family, I'm telling you right now, she is guilty. Guilty beyond the shadow of a doubt. Again, if you are not inserting anything as the defense is saying, in your mind, you have already committed adultery. You're already on your way. All right. Now that, again, that is the major infraction. And if I am not proving that she did commit adultery, I will go with the minor infraction that she did cheat on her husband. She is still married, regardless of what you guys say about, well, you know, they're separated and all of this and that. Family, legally, they're still married. He's still trying. Charles is still trying. He messed up. He's trying. People get chances. She don't want to give him a chance, but she is cheating. Legally, she is cheating on her husband right now. The prosecution rests. That is the case. The People versus Lucille Flenory. Case closed. We're done.
Okay, y'all. I'm not presenting any more exhibits. My case has been proven beyond a reasonable doubt. We talked about what defines adultery, right? Sexual intercourse, of which Lucille did not have with Dr. Feelgood. I know that the prosecution really, really wants to pin Lucille to the wall, you guys, but the evidence just isn't there. We can speculate all day. We can make guesses, but what did we see on the screen? We saw Lucille have a moment of weakness and peck a man in the doctor's office. That was it. If you're currently dating, even as a singleton, right? If you're currently dating and you kiss a man, have you fornicated with that man? I want you to ask yourself those questions. I'm going to leave you, though, with this statement in closing. If Peen didn't meet Vagine, Lucille is clean. If it wasn't unzipped, you must acquit. And I officially rest the case. I'm going to bring the prosecution back up, and we are going to give everyone in the chat the opportunity to judge this. You're the jury, and you make the final decision on what Lucille's fate is. Is she an adulteress or not? You guys have 30 seconds, and we need you to put in either guilty or not guilty. And I will give you 30 seconds. I'm starting my timer now. Yeah, let's get to it.
She's a cheater. As expected. This is fun. Not all my slides showed up. I don't know why all my slides did not show up. What the heck? It's all right.
3 seconds, guys. 1.
Where's my fellas at? Where is the brothers at?
Voting has over, and it's unanimous. Oh, no. It's not unanimous. We have one guilty.
Not guilty. We got one guilty. Yeah. Again, yeah.
One guilty. How you give the rest not guilty. Lucille is innocent.
No, she's not. You can't give home,
Lucille.
Not the people voted. Everybody voted. Not everybody voted. Okay.
They had the opportunity to. We gave them 30 seconds. Now you can't get mad at the rules when it comes down to play. I mean,
Again,
they're still
you made
voting.
the
Not
rules.
guilty.
You made the
Not
rules.
guilty. Not guilty.
She's guilty of cheating. She's
Not
guilty of
guilty.
cheating and slobbing. That was not a peck. Let's just talk. That was not a peck. I clearly saw that.
I defended my client with a zealous representation, and the jury has decided. I'm sorry. The jury's decided the case. Lucille is innocent. Free her.
She's not innocent. She's still guilty.
Woman of God. Woman of God.
Woman, thou art loose.
What did you guys, though, for real, think of this? I had a ball. I think people should come and always do this. I think this was an amazing time. Taking characters and playing the prosecution or defense. But let me know in the comments, guys, what did you think of today's live?
There goes the rest of our slides there. Okay. Okay. Yeah. This was fun.
How do you feel, prosecution? I mean, you tried to paint a scarlet letter
I had
on
fun. Again, this is all in fun. Again, this is great. I like dressing up. Yes, thank you, Defendant TV. That right. It was not a peck. Absolutely, it was not a peck. We know that. This is fun though. This is fun. That's right. I had a lot of information, Monique. You're correct. That's what you're supposed to do when you're prosecuting. Okay, ma'am. That's right. That's what you do.
Okay, let's go.
We worked hard on this. Yes.
At the end of the day, they both fell into temptation. You're correct. Just one went a little bit further than the other. Men want infinite chances, yet woman does something can never be looked at.
And here's the thing. The season is not over, family. Okay?
Now suburbia. It's abuse.
We'll come back though.
It's abuse, suburbia. It's abuse.
She committed adultery in her mind.
Case closed. Innocent.
Whatever.
Okay,
it's okay.
Her rabbi calls us if a man are alone in a room. A lot of people hold that in a lot of different faiths.
Exactly. She
not
is a
guilty.
cheater, adultery. She was thinking.
Really? She's guilty as you know what? Ghost Ted.
She was all up
in
it. All up in it.
Hey, Tamika. Thanks for coming.
I see you, Tamika. Of course,
Candy, I know that's right.
Marcus ain't here. My man Antoine, man, where y'all at? Suburbia, salute to you, man. You know what I mean?
What was the song Suburbia? I don't think I know that SWV song. Tiffany, not guilty.
Downtown. Tamika, okay. Of course. All y'all ladies gonna say not guilty. I'm telling y'all. Now, when she does have sex with him, when it does happen, I want y'all to come back with that same energy. When it goes down, come back with the same energy, yo. Come back with that same. And then we're gonna say, yes, she committed adultery the same way that Charles did. Okay.
Tiffany TV says, I agree that it wasn't a peck, but it was way less than Charles did. Absolutely.
Of course. The season's not over.
The law firm of Johnny May Cochran and Associates reign undefeated.
Only because it's your birthday.
It was fun. I enjoyed it. Thank y'all for coming out. This was fun.
Thanks for coming out. This definitely was fun.
Jay was long-winded with his non-evident.
That's right. I addressed that already. That's right. It will be long-winded when you come back.
Goodness. Lord.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. See, you be going past my brother's comments real fast.
I put his comments up.
You'll go back. You leave the ladies up real, and then you go back.
I don't know who you is, though. Are you talking about Lucille? Yes, you.
Yes. You're talking about Lucille, not you.
Okay.
Not you.
Monique facts. I done took a nap in there. You know what?
Whatever, yo. Both of y'all,
whatever. Does not get unanimous decided, then the defendant is let go. Okay.
Listen, she can go for now, but we got what? We got 5 more episodes to go.
It's 10, right? We're going to be into May.
Thank you, Definity.
And then they have a break between the 9th and the 10th episode, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's 10 episodes, so the next one we get into is 5. So
yeah, I'm excited though. Do you have any thoughts about next week's episode? What we're going to be in for?
Is Willie Gary? VACAY Willie Gary? What is that? I'll tell you, man. Listen, so the next episode is about to be crazy. I saw the trailer for it. Like, we about to turn up in Atlanta. They about to get busy with the gunplay, so I'm looking forward to that. I am looking forward to that. It was, yeah. It's gonna be dope.
Thank y'all for coming up. I'm gonna give you the floor though, Jay. You can talk about anything you have coming on next.
Sure. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, absolutely, Tamika. I see you. Hey, family, thank you for coming out. We had a lot of fun with this thing. Like I said, it was all in good fun. You know, we're going to do this every now and then. We may come back again. Stay tuned for when she does commit adultery, and we will come back with the evidence and go from there. All right. We will not be long. We will be strong. Okay. So, family, what's going on next? Well, tomorrow, I'm supposed to be doing this live breakdown of Diara from Detroit with Ashley tomorrow. So definitely check that out. Come through, show love. If you watched it, hey, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I like it. I like it so far. All right. So definitely check us out. Come through, watch it, and join in the discussion. Then, of course, we have final predictions, what it looked like on Monday for episode 5 for BMF. We're going to have the picks, the exclusive picks. We're going to break it down. We're going to guess what's going to happen. We may see Lucille actually, get busy with the doctor. So stay tuned for that. All right. And then, of course, next Wednesday. Hello. Hi.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Sorry.
It's getting so excited. It's all right. So then next Wednesday, we got the Ruthless Round Table. Well, I will be hosting for the last episode, crazy episode. We're getting into that. So definitely look out for that as well. And then we'll be back around for BMF, family. I will be going live in between the weeks. Okay. I got some new systems going on, new ways of doing things. So look out for the impromptu lives, the pop-ups that I'm going to be doing. I'm always having fun with you guys, and we're talking about everything. So again, this was fun. Thank you, Ashley, for having me. We're going to do this again. Again, we got 5 more episodes. Let's see what Lucille does next.
Oh, Lord. Yeah. And you guys, same thing, DR from Detroit. And we're just covering episode 1. I think we're going to do this one at a time, see how it goes. Oh my goodness. I just dropped a ton of videos, you guys. I am reviewing Palm Royale. I'm reviewing Manhunt on Apple TV. Both are on Apple TV, actually, and some other fun content coming. Of course, Jay mentioned the final predictions and some new stuff in the works that I'm excited to announce. I'll definitely be putting some polls up on the community page, so please check those out. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to VACAY-JayTV's channel if you haven't already. If you haven't subscribed to mine, come on and do that too. I still need to get these watch hours up. So thank you to the chat and everyone who chimed in. This was so much fun. Let us know next time who you want us to defend. I know somebody had put in the comments, Big Quiche, if she's loyal or not.
We'll see. We'll see who the defense is and who the prosecutors are. We may switch it up. It depends on where we'll discuss it, right? Who wants to prosecute, who wants to do all that. It's going to be fun, though. It's always going to be fun.
Absolutely. But as always, you guys, thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Salute.